Hello students. So we all know that you're getting ready for the BIT degree, the BIT exams, Bachelor of Information Technology, conducted by UCSC. So we're here to help you with some revision lessons. Now today we thought of discussing the module EN1101, communication skills. So let's see how we can help you with the exams. So I thought the best way to help you may be discussing a past question paper. So let us try to have a look at an MCQ paper which we had on the 23rd March 2014. So let's go through it. Hope you're ready. Okay, here we go. Question number 1, very easy as usual. Which of the following statements are incorrect regarding spacing in handwriting? So if you have logged on to the LMS of the BIT degree, you would have definitely gone through the notes, the teacher's notes and the lesson content that we have uploaded there. And this question is directly from those notes. So it makes it very, very easy. Let's go through the options, the answers that they have given. Spacing between words is equal to one lowercase letter O. Now, lowercase, which of course means simple letter. So what they're trying to say is the spacing between words when we write is equal to one lowercase letter O. So yeah, that's correct. If you refer the notes on the LMS, that is correct. Let's go to B. Spacing between sentences is equal to two lowercase o's. So two o's, right, together. So that is spacing between two sentences. You write one sentence and then you have to have some space before we start the next sentence. So there should be a gap. So this gap is equal, the space that takes is equal to two simple o's in simple terms. C. It is important to maintain consistency when spacing, which is of course very, very important, because obviously it is understood that you cannot leave one space, like let's say you leave one space for two words, between two words, and two spaces between two other words, which is not going to be very nice, which will definitely disturb not only the reading but the writing as well. So it has to be very, very consistent. And so remember, stick to this. Just remember two small i's, so two o's. Right, so those three are correct answers. Spacing between words is equal to one uppercase letter O, big O, capital O, which is not correct. Spacing between sentences is equal to two uppercase O's, two capital O's. So that is not correct. So those are the two correct answers, because they're asking for the incorrect answers. So I want all of you to read the question very carefully, because in the BIT exams we have, most of the time we have more than one correct answer, and sometimes they ask for not the correct answer but the incorrect answer, the wrong answer. So please be careful, because most of you, what you do is you go ahead and color those circles in the BIT MCQ with the correct answers when they ask for the incorrect answer. So be on alert. So we have discussed question number 1 over here. Let's move on to the next. Yes. Which of the following sentence or sentences bears correct punctuation? So we have a whole lesson about punctuation, which is very important when it comes not only to writing but when speaking as well. We do speak the punctuation marks, though you do not notice. We have to, and it adds meaning, it gives meaning to whatever we say. So let's go through these answers. The first, A, help, there is a fire in the barn. Help with the exclamation mark. Yeah, you can put the exclamation mark after help. But what is wrong here is usually the exclamation mark sort of ends the sentence there, and the next sentence or the next letter should start with a capital, because it's like it's a new sentence. But here you have a simple letter, a simple T after the exclamation mark. So we cannot consider A as a correct answer. Let's move on to B. Help, there is a fire in the barn. So we have a comma after help, and then we have there is a fire. The sentence continues, there is a fire in the barn, and at the end of the sentence you have the exclamation, which is all right. Help, you need to pause there, and there is a fire in the barn, which is okay, which is correct. Moving on to C. Okay, you have the exclamation mark right after the word help. Yes, you can use the exclamation mark like that, right after help, because help, when you say help or fire, when you shout out, you should have an exclamation mark there. So that's correct. And there is a fire in the barn, a complete sentence, a new sentence starting with a capital, which is of course correct. Let's go to option D, help. We have several dots like there is a fire in the barn. No, that is not correct. You do not have the exclamation mark. It's like, pausing for some time. The last option, E, help, there is a fire in the barn. And you have the exclamation mark there at the end of the sentence, but somehow after help there is no exclamation mark. But you have to either pause or have an exclamation mark there. So let's see what the answers are. Yes. So as we discussed, the two answers, we have two answers here, B and C. So you must be wondering what is the difference here. The difference is, now if I say B, it's like help, help, there is a fire in the barn. Okay, and the third one, the C, sounds like help, and you stop there. There is a fire in the barn. You see, with the exclamation, you have to, when you speak also, you have to use these punctuation marks, which is very important. So I suppose it is clear. If you are unclear, if you do not understand something, please go through the teacher's notes in the LMS, and we have given you some supplementary work as well, supplementary reference pages, web pages. Please go through these and read and see a lot of examples and see where you can put the exclamation mark. We'll move on to the next question. Which of the following sentence or sentences bear or bears correct capitalization? So the lesson punctuation and capitalization, it goes together in our lessons, and capitalization is very important, especially in writing. Let's go through it. A. It is very cold in Nuwara in the months of December and January. So how do we punctuate sentences? Usually, if I speak generally, we put the first letter of the sentence as a capital letter, and if you have this I, the pronoun I, referring to me, myself, then you have that I in capital, even though it is in the middle of a sentence. And here you have special names, certain proper nouns, special names starting with capitals. So Nuwara is one of the special names of a town in Sri Lanka. We can see here the word Nuara has a capital N, but earlier starts with a simple E. So that indicates something is wrong in that sentence. The rest is okay. December and January, they have given in started with capital D and capital J, which is correct, which is all right. So what is wrong here is that simple E of Nuara earlier. Let's go to the next option, B. Is Alice a believer of Lord Buddha or God? Is Alice a believer of Lord Buddha or God? Now here, the sentence starts with a capital, that's correct, and Alice is a proper noun, it's a name of a girl, starts with capital A, that is also correct. What about Lord Buddha and God? Do we start these words in capital letters? Yes, we do, especially when it comes to Lord Buddha or God, because of respect, out of respect. We have this practice of using a capital letter like L for Lord and capital B for Buddha, and also God. Now, I have to mention, when you use capital G for God, it's usually when you refer to people who have faith in one God, one creator. So when you refer to that creator, because there is only one God, and out of respect you use this capital G. But sometimes in some cultures you refer to, sometimes in cultures like ours and Hindu culture, you refer to lots of gods. In that case, it is a simple G. Now this God with a capital G is the single creator God. So out of respect, we use capital letters in these instances. So please remember that, and this sentence is correct in that way. Let's move on to C. Her garden was full of roses and butterflies. Well, there's nothing wrong with that sentence except for the fact that roses and butterflies start with capital letters, which should not be, because they are used in general. You don't need to capitalize the word, the letter R and letter B over there. You can just use simple letters. Let's go to D. I took my aunt on a pilgrimage to India. Yeah, it's a correct sentence. Everything sounds okay, and India, it's a name, special name, proper noun, special name of a country. It starts with capital I, which is correct. Let's go to the last option, E. You'd better ask Rishi whether you could bring your sister to her party. Well, everything looks okay there except for her party. The H starts with capital, which is wrong. You don't need to use a capital H there. But I should tell you, in some instances, for example, like referring somebody like Lord Buddha or God in the middle of a sentence, sometimes you use this capital H as he or him. But that is only in such a case, not here, not when referring to a usual person. So let's see what are the correct answers there. Yeah, these are the two correct answers. Is Alice a believer of Lord Buddha or God? I took my aunt on a pilgrimage to India. So it's B and D. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following sentences bear or bears correct capitalization once again? Let's go through the options. A. He said, treat her as you would your own daughter. Yes. Now, what is wrong there is, when you start quotation marks, when you start the quotes, you have to start with a capital letter even if it is in the middle of the sentence, because you're referring to something that someone said. So there is no capital T, it's with a simple T. So in that case, this answer is wrong. We move on to B. Have you read The Tale of Two Cities? Especially when you refer to a name of a book, a name of a song, a poem, a story, whatever, you have this practice of writing the keywords starting with a capital letter, which is of course practiced over here, The Tale of Two Cities. The T's are capital and the C is capital. So this should be a correct answer. Let's go to C. I enjoyed Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So what is wrong in this option is that and, which is not a keyword. It's a conjunction and it's not a keyword, even though it's a part of the name of this book or the movie. And is not a keyword, but and starts with a capital letter here, which is not correct. We move on to D. Meet Miss Pereira before you visit Uncle Ben. Yes, that should be correct, because when you refer to someone like Uncle Ben or Uncle, if you localize it, Uncle Siripala, whatever, then you consider that whole thing, Uncle so-and-so, as a proper noun. So you can leave that capital U here even with the name B, capital B. So that's correct. King Parakramabahu the First, King Parakramabahu I, is also known as Parakramabahu the Great. Well, everything is okay except that when you say Parakramabahu the Great, that is also a name that may be a name of honor. It's a name of honor that he got. So in that name of honor, at least the keywords should get capital letters. So the G is a simple here. So because of that, it is not correct. Let's go and see what are the correct answers. Yes, you have B and D. Have you read The Tale of Two Cities and meet Miss Pereira before you visit Uncle Ben? Okay, moving on to question number 5. Which of the following should not be included in your cover letter when applying for a job? Now, if you can remember, when you apply for a job, at least if you have not applied for a job, if you have gone through the lesson content of our LMS, you know that when you apply for a job, you need to have a cover letter and a CV. So these are two things. First of all, I would like to show you this cover letter and the CV. We have a very basic form, a simple CV here of a girl called Pumi Fernando. So just browse through the net. There are lots of templates, so you can download a suitable one. So this is a very basic CV where I have typed the name and the contact in a letterhead style, but then I have on the side the name in full. In the traditional CVs, you don't have this letterhead style. You have everything typed one after the other. So in the CV, this is what you have: some personal details, full like date of birth, civil status, education, and as I said, this is a very basic CV. Okay, so you have educational qualifications and employment history, extracurricular activities, and then the student has included language proficiency and interests. So you can have interests, hobbies, whatever. And here, as I said, it's a very basic form and it is of a student who has not completed a degree yet. So you don't have much in educational qualifications there. And then you have two non-related referees, contact addresses, contact details of two non-related referees. So that is a basic form of a CV, and then you usually have a declaration: I hereby certify that the above particulars are true and accurate, and then you place your signature over there. So let us move into a cover letter. So we have the sample of the cover letter of the same girl, and here starts with the date, and then you have the address of the sender, who is Pumi, and the address of the receiver, Mr. K. Pereira, Human Resources Manager, and Brandex Software Solutions PLC, Flower Lane, Colombo 5. So that's just a sample, as I said. So you're sending it to the Human Resources Manager of a particular company, and it says, "Dear sir," so if you're not sure whether it's a gentleman or a lady, you can say, "Dear madam, stroke sir," or something like that, and then you have a title, "Application for the post of software engineer." With reference to your advertisement published on the Sunday Observer 15th instant, I wish to submit my CV for your kind perusal. Having read your advertisement, I found that I possess the qualifications required for the above post. Moreover, I have heard of your company as one of the most reputed software firms in the island. Therefore, I request you to provide me with an opportunity to serve in your company. In the event of my selection, I assure you that I would be providing my service with a sense of responsibility and dedication while improving my own skills. I'm looking forward to a favorable response. Thank you. Yours truly. You have the signature, and remember to put your name clearly. So let's go through question number 5. Which of the following should not be included in your cover letter when applying for a job? So you saw the cover letter now. Let's see. Address of sender. Yes, you had it there. Address of receiver. Yes, you have to have it. Your qualifications? No, remember that. It goes only to the CV. Do not repeat it in the cover letter. The name of the post you're applying for? Yes, you have to have it on the title. How you knew about the vacancy? Yes, you have to have that. So they're asking for the wrong answer. Which of the following should not be included? So it's definitely your qualifications. Don't put it in the cover letter. So going to question number 6. Identify the correct statements regarding CVs. First, it should include all your personal information. No. It has to include your employment history in brief. Yes. It may be signed by 2 non-related referees. Yes. So the answer is 2 and 3 only. Question number 7. Identify the incorrect, the wrong statements regarding CVs. It should include all your personal information. No, that's incorrect. It has to include your educational qualifications. You have to put them. CVs should be professional, of course, yes. So we are looking for the wrong answer here, so it's 1 only. Question number 8. Which of the following are not a reason or reasons to write a report? So we have a whole lesson about report writing on the LMS, so please go through the notes, please go through the content and the activities that we have uploaded for you. So what here is not a reason to write a report? To inform. Well, we write reports to inform, so that's correct. We have to inform. B, to make proposals or recommendations for a change. Yes, so going through the answers. To inform. Yes, we write reports to inform. B, to make proposals or recommendations for a change. Well, yes, that's what we do in reports. We investigate something and then we make recommendation. Of course, obviously, to make a change in the current system. To analyze and solve problems, yes. To present the findings of an investigation or project, yes, of course. To improve creative writing. Well, no, we don't write reports to improve creative writing. So that's the wrong answer there. So that's the answer. They're asking for the incorrect option. Going to question number 9. Which of the following is not a suitable conversation starter or starters to make small talk between people who have met for the first time? Okay, now what is small talk? Small talk are sort of icebreakers. You know, you meet someone for the first time, especially when you meet someone for the first time, you wonder how to start a conversation. So it has to be in the comfort zone of both of you, of the stranger as well as yourself. So in small talk, there are certain things that are not very appropriate that you should talk, and then there are suitable things as well. So going through these options, A, isn't it a nice sunny day for a walk? Well, yes, that's a very nice conversation starter. B, did you watch news yesterday? Yeah, that's once again a very good way to start the conversation. Are you married? How would you feel if somebody asks you? Of course, maybe if you're married you won't mind, but it might offend people. Some people might get hurt. So it is not suitable to ask whether you're married. D, oh, what a pretty dress you're wearing. That's usually a nice thing to say, a nice compliment to make, because people usually enjoy when someone says something nice about them. So don't worry, don't hesitate. You can say something. You don't need to be shy. That's very kind. So that's a nice conversation starter. Do you enjoy watching cricket? Yes, then again that's a very nice conversation starter. So we'll see the correct answers. So they're asking for the one which is not good, not a suitable conversation starter. So it is, are you married? So if I just brief you up with conversation starters which are not very appropriate in a small talk, I would say financial matters. Do not ask a person what your salary is and how is your finance level, how is your status. That is very inappropriate, especially when you meet someone for the first time. And also politics. Try not to talk about politics, because you never know like what sort of consequences will take place. And religion, try to avoid talking about religion, comparing religions as much as possible, because it's a very, very sensitive issue. So try to avoid all this. And also about sex. Don't discuss things in open about sex. Also, in some cultures, death is also a topic which is inappropriate, which is considered unpleasant to discuss in a forum like that, especially when you meet someone for the first time. So in some cultures, death is also not accepted. And also, if you talk about age, don't ask anyone, how old are you? Which is supposed to be very, very rude, because some people do mind, and it's not that nice. It may be something simple to you, but you never know what the other person feels about it. And don't also make comments on the appearance of a person, like, oh, you have gained weight. Sometimes, though, that person might smile and might laugh it off, but still he or she might feel hurt about it. So don't bring up conversation starters like that. And also personal, very, very personal stuff, don't discuss. And offensive jokes, and don't ask about people's past relationships. So these are a few of very unacceptable topics in small talk. For more details, you can refer the LMS and the teacher's notes. You have some more stuff there. So moving on to question number 10. Once again, small talk. What are the inappropriate statements? A, you look absolutely fashionable in those shoes. So that is something very nice to say. Hi, I saw you dance really well. Once again, a very kind compliment. Which party do you think will win this election? So as I said, keep away from politics. This food is very tasty, isn't it? Something nice to start a conversation. Hey, this is a nice office. How much do they pay you? Not nice. So let's see, what are the answers here? Yeah. So refrain from speaking about politics and financial matters. Yeah, moving on to the next question. Which of the following is correct regarding facing an interview? Come early. Yes, you have to come early. Be open and honest. Yes. Do not sit until you're asked to. Yes, don't straight away walk and sit down. So wait until you're asked to take a seat. Smile. Yes, always look pleasant. Talk with confidence. Yes. So they're all correct. We'll take the last question for this revision session. Question number 12. Which of the following sentences or sentence is correct regarding making presentations? Time is the least important thing the presenter should worry about. No, it is the most important thing, I think, the presenter should worry about, because however interesting your speech or your presentation may be, if you exceed the time, because there is a particular limit that the listener can also, be interested, be attentive. So stick to the given time. The presenter should practice before he or she delivers the presentation. Yes, very much. It will definitely help. A public speaker needs to study his or her audience before delivering a speech, which is very, very important. For example, now supposing you deliver a speech about, let's say, social networks or some very recent app, mobile or Android or whatever app, you talk about it and you deliver this speech in an elderly home. So that is not an appropriate audience for that speech. Maybe one or two people might grasp your message, but the rest of your words will be wasted. So it is very important to study and to know what sort of audience you are going to have to deliver your speech. A presenter of a presentation may use less body language compared to a public speaker. Well, in a way, yes, because in this answer they say may use less. It doesn't mean that you have to use less, you may use less, because sometimes in a technical presentation you may have a lot of slides, lot of visual aids to show the audience. So in that case you may use less body language, but it doesn't mean no body language. You have to have some body language as well. A speaker should always speak very loud. No, you need to vary your voice, but still you have to be very audible. So the answers are, yeah, B, C and D. Yes, so with that we intend to wind up today's session of revision. Hope it was very helpful to you, and thank you for watching. We'll soon come back with the rest of the revision session. Thank you. Have a nice day.